I'm not trying to spook you. This is a love letter, okay? When you go into medical intuitiveness, things change, because body chemistry changes, doctors change, things occur, right? I'm being told, though, your father is still struggling, and it's heart carotid based. And is he also the same one that has like a special chair in the house? What, does he sit in the same chair
Yes.
every night?
Yes.
Every night?
Mhm.
Boom, right in the chair.
Yes.
And he had the blocks in the carotid arteries itself.
Yes.
And I'm going to ask you both something very specific, then I'm going to come back to her for a minute. Who's the person that had the one eye?
My mother.
Your mother. Listen to me carefully. I'm not talking about someone who has macular degeneration. I am not talking about someone who has cataract surgery. With all respect to your family, people get older, those things happen. I got it. I'm not talking about that. Either your mother had cancer in the eye, or she was poked in the eye with a stick, or she lost vision in one eye. They're telling me the one-eyed blind person. Living?
Yes.
They're telling me to tell you through the one-eyed woman to take care of your father and get him to the doctors again. And I'm not kidding. And the person that was struck on the bicycle, did you go to the funeral?
Yes.
Did you see them laid out?
Yes.
Let me ask you guys something. Who was laid out in the dress? The dress, other than this person, the dress worn at a wedding.
I think it was my cousin's wife.
Think carefully. I got someone here that's telling me they were laid to rest in a dress they either wore to your wedding or to a wedding.
Yeah,
Come on.
my aunt.
At your wedding?
Yeah.
Listen, are you still married?
Yeah.
You seem thrilled. All right, listen. I want my husband to come through. Go home and whack him over the head. We'll come back next week. We'll do it.
I was thinking somebody else.
Humor is important because it helps people focus. It really does. And I don't mean to trivialize the sorrow, but I got a man here that was killed on the bike. The person on the bike was a female,
Right.
right?
Right.
Are you sure she wasn't laid in a dress as well?
No, she wasn't.
You sure?
She was in a dress.
She was in a dress, but
When she was killed?
No.
No, she couldn't have been in a dress driving a bike.
no.
She was laid to rest in a dress, was she not?
Right.
Okay, don't want to go back and push it. Do you know her well enough to know where she wore that dress?
No.
Okay, that's why I'm asking. This could be coincidental, but I'm telling you what I see. There's a female that was killed on a bike, riding, like in a jogging suit or a pantsuit or a pleasure outfit, whatever she was wearing. She gets creamed, and she's telling me she's laid to rest. She's dead. The person that hits her just goes, boom. Doesn't come back, doesn't try to help her, nothing. And she's telling me they remain uncaught. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That soul is telling me about the one-eyed woman, which is your mother. The one-eyed woman is to take care of the man with the carotid artery issues, big time. Got it?
Yes.
Who owned, and listen to this, who owned the horseshoe pinky ring? Positive. Who was the big gambling person? Worked at the track, around the horses all the time. Come on.
My stepfather?
Say it to me.
My stepfather?
Listen to me carefully. Still living? Crossed over. Listen to me carefully then. I understand people gamble. I know people put money on Super Bowls. I know people go to Foxwoods. I got it.
Yeah, he was a gambler.
I understand that, okay? So I'm not saying this is a big thing, but specifically to you, there's the presence over your head of the gambling man. He is telling me he owned a ring in the shape of a horseshoe. Does that make sense? Also, he's telling me that there were horseshoes around the house. Either he put them over doorways, or he had them up on the garage, or he had them over the front door. It was not limited just to a piece of jewelry. Someone in your family was laid to rest with a pack of playing cards in their casket, or poker chips, or something, or betting slips in the casket.
Yeah, well, she's like the poker girl, but
Show that to me.
I play poker, but
Okay, that's all I
but
want.
that's it.
If you got playing cards on your wrist, then that's what he's showing. No, I'm being sincere with you. If you've got a tattoo of playing cards on your wrist, I didn't see it, right? And you've got playing cards on your wrist. This is your stepdad's way of telling me to talk to you. Now, I'm gonna be very gentle with something, I gotta say something to you. Okay, you can shut me off when you want.
Go ahead.
With all respect to you, did your birth father abandon you?
Mine did.
Yeah? Crossed over? Listen to me carefully. Now you can, you know, if someone could throw a glass of wine in my face and say, don't talk about my father like that. He was a war hero when he died in Vietnam, and, you know, that kind of a thing, right? But with all respect, I have the presence of a man here that says to me, I walked away from my child. Does that make sense? I'm sorry. And he said that he crosses over and you were unavailable to him. And I'm going to tell you more. You know, a lot of people go to Florida. A lot of people go to Florida. They go for vacation, they go to Disney, they do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And people move there. I got it. I understand it. But I'm being told that. Who was in Florida when Dad died?
No, well, I just got back from Florida. My husband and I went, you know, but my real father left, and I never met my father.
You never met him. Yep.
Your
But
mom
we
just flew
got
to
back
Florida
from My
tonight.
Well,
mom went to Florida today.
There we go. Because they're telling me the Florida story. So there's, excuse me, what they call, if I said to you, did you ever go to Florida? Are you thinking about going to Florida? That's very generic. But if you're telling me you just came back from there,
Right.
her stepdad, with all respect to you,
That's our step.
okay, crosses over, you don't know your birth father, walks away from you guys, you have a tattoo of playing cards on your wrist representing the gambling. Your father, respectfully, or your stepfather, respectfully, had a pinky horseshoe ring, was a gambling guy, and crossed. Guess who's standing here? You understand? Yeah. That's what I'm here to do. That comes in on the heels of this beautiful family, who unfortunately has a friend or someone close. There was a woman struck by a car and killed. Connected to this, I want to come back to you about this head injury person. I heard you say a fall. This is not your stepdad, though. This is a friend. You know if they were up like either cleaning the roof?
Yeah, he fell off the roof.
Okay, because he's telling, I mean, you said the roof part to me, let's keep it clear. But he doesn't make me feel he was like a roof technician or something. He was up there doing his own house, or working on someone's home or something. You tell me he was a roofer?
Yeah.
Or by trade? I didn't feel like that way. So he was up on the roofs every day, and he took a bad slip, and when he went down, he hit his head. Okay, I missed that part, just to be honest, fair with you. And one last little thing, this is weird. You know, I like animals a lot. I'm a big animal guy. But I have my limits. I'm not crazy about snakes. I'm not crazy about tarantulas. That kind of Halloween stuff is not for me. Got it? Who owns the snake?
I had one.
Do you have a boa constrictor?
No.
Would you have some kind of a snake in your room or something?
I had like garden snake.
Not I'm talking on the property, I'm talking in your house.
Not anymore.
No, did you have,
Yeah.
when your stepdad was around, did you own snakes?
Just one. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I didn't ask you that.
Sorry.
I'm not saying that you raised 6 or 7 kids, I'm not sure how many.
I had one for a short period of time, yes.
She knows how many snakes you have, you don't know how many kids you raised. Stop over there. Listen to me carefully. I'm a pain in the neck. Listen to me carefully. If you owned a snake, if my kid came home with a snake, the kid would go and the snake would go. It's not for my world. I look at them in the zoo from a distance. I'm not a snake guy. But that being said, you own one, did you not?
Yes.
And I gotta ask you, at this table too, then I gotta move. Listen, oh boy. Girls, listen to me there, and listen to me here. Someone got shot in the stomach, point blank. Point blank. They were murdered. And it's right at that table. Yep. Come and let you guys sit, okay? Hold on, Jen, hold on. Listen to this, Was there a delay in your stepfather's death? I mean, in his burial?
A little bit.
No, not a little bit. More than that. Why is he telling me there was trouble with his headstone? Why is he making me feel there was like a problem getting him laid to rest?
Yeah, many.
Holy moly. This is not just someone who dies, funeral parlor, church, shul, whatever your background is, shul being temple for Jewish families. Pay your respects, you put them in the earth, put them in a vault, that's it. Pretty much academic stuff. Not with you, not with this guy. He's telling me there was all kinds of problems. And can I say something else to you too, before I go to that table? Did your father have another name?
Elvis.
He had like this odd name, did he not? Did he have like a nickname, like Elvis Presley, or,
That was Elvis.
yeah? He's telling me he had like this other very unusual name
Pesci, too.
that he would go by. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
This is a very cool guy though.
Yeah.
I hope you love him very much,
Yeah.
because he's really terrifically around you. So I hope that works well for you. And last little comment here, your friend that crossed, did you ever speak with her husband?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you speak with him recently?
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, well, I knew him, we had fallen out of contact. Your friend is telling me that you spoke with her husband recently. And he still is, not, I'm sure, heartbroken, but he's still fuming that the guy ran away from his wife.
Yes.
And you know, I'm gonna tell you something, she wasn't dead.
Yeah. That's right.
He left her dying. She did not die on impact. He walked away from her,
Yes.
knowing she was dying in the street. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because you could have said, Robert, she was killed on impact, 90 miles an hour, dead.
No.
No. Went around the curve, boom, hit her, blindsided her, and left her there bleeding,
Yes.
and never came back.
No.
I'm very sorry. Good.